Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man. My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Yeah, I'm like, do you have a problem? You know, and she said, what? And I mean, she inched up even closer, man, where I could almost feel the dog tipping his nose, almost touching my pants. He trying to snap at me, and I'm like, man. And the rage was building up so much in me that the other officer that supposed to been the one who was dealing with me if there was a issue to deal with me with, you know what I'm saying? Because he's the officer. She's a canine. She is technically an officer, but when you are assigned to the canine, you just supposed to control the canine. You don't even supposed to be having dialogue with me. You don't even supposed to be talking to me, period. But she done try to get me isolated over in a corner with my back against the wall and trying to intimidate me. And man, the rage was building up in me so deep, man, I'm ready to snap. And the way I operate is once I feel like, you know, my back is against the wall, then my mind goes to another place. Now I'm thinking about, you know, survival. I'm thinking about, you know, crazy stuff. I'm thinking about, you know, damage, violence. Like, I'm not going to be the only one hurt in this situation. You see what I'm saying? I'm just not. And I know you got a dog and all this, but I'm already have started calculating in my brain what's going to happen if this, you know, situation, you know, goes out of hand. The dog bite me, you know, I can't stop him from biting me. He probably going to bite me. But he ain't gonna finish biting me because I'm gonna break his neck, you know, and then I'm gonna pursue you because you the one who sicked him on me. So this is my mind frame at the time. And I don't know if she thought that I was super scared or she thought that she was really handling me, but she don't know what's going on in my mind. That's what's going on in my mind. So I'm just standing there and I'm like, could you back this dog up away from me? And she was like, you don't tell me what to do. I said, man. And I'm just standing there and I'm against the wall. She said, do you got a problem? I said, listen, lady, you better get away from me. She said, I don't better do nothing. I'm asking you, do you have a problem? So I look over at the officer and he's scared to death. He ain't saying nothing like a coward that he was. So I said, listen, I'm asking you to back the dog up away from me. She said, I'm asking you, do you have a problem? And the dog just nipped it. And man, I'm like, listen, lady. So the person that was in the booth, now they done came over, they looked down, so now they got the gun down on me too. So they can see what's going on. They can see that she out of bounds, she out of pocket, but they don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? So they get on the radio and they call some type of code or whatever they call. So then she back up a little bit. She said, stand right there, don't move. I said, man, you tripping. She said, what? You still running your mouth? I said, you don't control my mouth. She said, why I don't, I said, you don't control my mouth. You don't control me. You not intimidating me with that dog. You not intimidating me with your voice. I'm asking you to leave me alone. I didn't do anything. Leave me alone, period. She told me, put your hands back down to your side. I'm like, yeah, okay. So, man, I'm telling you, man, this was a crazy situation. This is what's going on up there. This is what's going on up there in the mountains. They just try to, you know, demasculate you or try to break you down, whereas you so scared or you just a coward or something like that. Nah, not me. You got to kill me, period. You know, you got to kill me. Do I want to die? No. But I'm going to die standing up. I'm not going to die on my knees. I'm not going to die by somebody just taking cold advantage of me. Nah, that ain't going to happen. You know, and I'm at that stage now, so they come running in there all deep. They got more dogs. They come in there with more officers. They like, what's going on? What's the problem? What's the problem? Okay, then this lady, she come into play. She is the unit manager. It's an African-American female. She just got that title, just got that job. Unit manager, you got the warden, assistant warden, you got the warden, the assistant warden, unit manager, major. You know, so she high up in the ranks. You see what I'm saying? So she coming in there, she walking in there all slow. Then they done gathered all around me like they getting ready to jump on me, shoot me, do all this, do all that for nothing. I ain't did nothing. You see what I'm saying? So she in there, she like, well, what's going on? What's going on? So she asked the lady, she said, well, He walked through the metal detector, and I told him to come back, but he want to act all resistant and talk all smart, and I told him to stand up against the wall, and I was getting ready to send him back to his cell, and he was just gonna mischild. I'm like, so she turned to, she said, okay, she turned to me, she asked me what the problem was. I tell her, you know, I go through the metal detector. The metal detector did not go off when I went through there. She told me to turn around and come back and go through there again. I didn't see no reason why I had to, but I still complied, was going back. Then she gonna tell me she don't like the way I look or my attitude and tell me to get up against the wall. And she trying to intimidate me with the dog. She got the dog 2 inches away from me. For what purpose is that? I haven't did anything for a dog to be sick on me. First of all, I haven't did anything for me to go back and walk through another line, which I was willing to do. But I'm not going to stand here and let somebody just cold take advantage of me or talk to me like I'm a child, and then she's going to tell me I'm not going to go eat. And man, I say, she out of pocket, she out of bounds. So she was like, okay. This is what we're going to do. Go back to your cell. We will have a tray delivered to your cell. You will get your lunch. Just go back to your cell. I'm going to deal with this situation. I said, so now I got to go in my cell to eat and wait for some food to come to me. She said, yes, that's what you have to do. I said, yeah, okay. So I'm going back to my cell. I'm walking by her. She trying to eye me down, stare at me. I'm looking at her like, lady, you just don't have a clue. You don't even have a clue. Man, I go back to my cell. I'm waiting about an hour, 2 hours, and people that came back and everything. I ain't get my lunch for like 2-3 hours later, which was garbage. I didn't want it anyway, but it was the principle of the situation. But you know what I'm saying? Like, those type of things happen on there a lot. That particular dog female, she ended up getting so many charges wrote on her, She done sick the dog on people. The dog done bit people, you know, to no fault of their own but hers. She done made up lies and said that they did this, they crossed the line or whatever. She eventually got enough charges written on her by dudes writing her up or whatever. They ended up taking her off the canine, but they didn't do anything. They made her a regular officer. They took her off the canine, made her a regular officer. So now she in the hallways, now she's working the booth, now she's working the block, and now she even got a bigger attitude because dudes are saying, yeah, that's why you got took off the canine, and she writing up fake charges. She, you know, getting people locked up, you know, because dudes is verbally going at her because now she's been demoted, and now, you know, she's retaliating by writing up charges, man. They should have got rid of her, just like a lot of our officers that do stuff that's out of pocket to get rid of them, but they need so many bodies in there to work. They let these people get away with all the stuff that they get away with, and they still keep a job. You see what I'm saying? They still keep a job. Now, even though you get demoted, and I didn't know this, to the best of my knowledge, is fact. Even when you get demoted, like people that move up to captain and major and or whatever, like the K9 unit, I think they get a little bit more paid than the regular officer. But when you move up to those positions and you done got to those positions, if they demote you in the Virginia penal system, I don't know if it's everywhere, but if they demote you for a discipline or whatever the case may be, you still don't lose your pay. So, you know what I'm saying? What is it? Just by looks, because you're going to be humiliated or whatever, but they still come to work because they don't lose their pay. I can remember being on Greensville, and there was a captain. He was one of the nastiest captains on there. Even his officers ain't like him. But he ended up getting in a sexual harassment suit, and he got demoted from a captain all the way down to a regular CO. And he went from being the watch commander to calling shots, telling everybody on the ship where to work, what to do, how to do. And he was known to be nasty to his officers as well as the convicts. And he went from that to being demoted all the way down to a CO, or, you know what I'm saying, or either lose his job, so he took the CO. And he went from that to working the gym gate. So everybody going in the gym gate laughing at him, cussing at him, telling him, yeah, you know what I'm saying, woo, damn, that's why you lost your job, that's why you got demoted down here, run this gym, woo. He mad as I don't know what. So I remember asking myself, why would he put himself through that humiliation? Why wouldn't he just leave because he lost all his rank and all his power? You know, now the dudes you was telling what to do, now you got sergeants and you got senior officers and you got lieutenants and all. Now they telling you what to do. They taking their advantage back on you like you was advantage taking them. So I was like, why would he do that? And then I remember an officer telling me, because even though he lose that captain status, he still get captain pay. And all he got to do is wait for his pension to kick in and retirement, and he gone. But he still get captain pay. He don't get it if he leave. see what I'm saying? So that's why they stay. You see what I'm saying? So I don't even understand what type of system that is, because the discipline ain't, if it ain't affecting your pockets, only thing it's affecting is your ego. So they, you know what I'm saying, they have no incentive, you know what I'm saying, to leave, because their money is still right. They still making more money than the people there that's telling them what to do, than the sergeants, than the lieutenants. You see what I'm saying? So it's a crazy system, man. It's just a crazy system. But that female, man, she was something else, man. And she was a tyrant, bro. She was a tyrant with that dog. She used to bring the dog in the block sometime when we locked down. She'll walk through the block, and we got these benches out there that we sat on. She'll let the dog get up on the bench and lay on the bench. The dog done urinated on the bench before. The dog done defecated in our block before. You know, it's just nastiness, man. It's just crazy stuff that she should have been fired for, but yet and still they kept her employed. They kept her employed. Amongst, I know hundreds, at least hundreds that I know of complaints against her. Hundreds of complaints. Because I'm telling you, man, when you got them dogs up under you like that and you got somebody that's controlling them is a tyrant, if the people that's controlling the dog is a tyrant, then your life is always at risk, because you in a place that you know, have no power, and these people got all the power, and yet they, you know, abusing that authority, they're abusing that power. Man, you got to defend for yourself. You got to be the one to stand up for yourself. You got to be the one to fight. And that may cost you. But in my case, I'm looking at it like, I don't care what the cost is as long as I'm standing up for me. You see what I'm saying? And man, I'm telling you, they was vicious up there with it. Vicious with them dogs. Vicious with you know, the way they was treating people, man. The way they was talking to people. And the crazy part about it was they had the unit manager who had just, the lady that had just became unit manager, she was an African-American. The assistant warden was an African-American. Now the assistant warden, I'm gonna tell you, man, his name was Booker. He was a good dude. He was one of the ones that I would put in the category of being a good dude. He later on, to the best of my knowledge, became a head warden, but he was assistant warden on there. And he played a major factor in my stay on River North. You know, he played a major factor, especially at the end, but I'll get to that later. But he played a major factor, man. Salute to Warden Booker, man. But yeah, man, the viciousness up there was real. It was real, man, and you had to be on point and you had to be aware, because you looking at all of this that's coming from this end, but then you looking at all the stuff that's going on the end, this in prison. You know what I'm saying? That you dealing with these mobs, these gangs, this gang life. You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to navigate your way through all of that and not get in no trouble, because your main objective now is to get to the flatland and then to try to get out of prison. So that's the objective. And you can't lose the objective, but at the same time, you can't lose focus of what's going on around you, because if you lose focus on what's going on around you, you may not ever get to the next agenda. You see what I'm saying? And that was a crucial time up there, man, you know, because like I say, I was right on the edge. You know what I'm saying? I was on the edge of getting the flatland and getting back, you know, after being up here in these mountains for years, but at the same time, I'm trying to balance all this stuff. And like I say, these dudes they was off the chain up there, man. These young boys, they may not know who you are. They may not know that you did this amount of time, that you got this type of reputation. They may not know that. So they may try you and you may have to produce, you know, because when the bell ring, man, you got to throw punches. You can't wait, you know what I'm saying, for nothing else. Protect yourself at all times. That's what they tell you when you step in that ring. Protect yourself at all times. Don't wait for the ref to save you. Don't wait. Protect yourself at all times. You know, and man, it was rough, man. It was rough up there, man. I watched the situation. I watched how it unfold. I seen many dudes, man, get the rumbling in there. I seen them go in the cell, get busted up, come out, you know, try to save face. You know, eventually when you done got touched up in there by somebody, you know, a dude gonna end up checking in or finding his way out of the block. He gonna find his way out of there, because now his reputation is ruined in the block. Even though he don't realize it at the time, when he goes somewhere else, the reputation gonna follow him too. They can say, oh, he got moved to that block. Oh yeah, that's the dude that such busted up. That's the dude that told on this. So it's gonna follow you. Your reputation gonna follow you everywhere you go in prison. I don't care where it is you go, your reputation is gonna follow you everywhere you go. So that's why you got to move, you know, the way you see fit. That's why you got to move with a purpose. You got to move with principles. You see what I'm saying? And that's gonna follow you, you know. So, like I said, man, I was just trying to get in the groove on here, trying to find my sweet spot. I started working out. I started just standing myself. I came out every now and then. I played some chess. I played some Scrabble. Man, I even got on that basketball court. I was playing that basketball up there, man. Even though it was a lot of drama on there, I got on there and did my thing, tried to keep my mouth closed, tried to play me good role player. You know, if I get that joint, they hit me over there every three. It's money. It's all money. So, but I got on the court. I got a couple of little pushbacks then when I made a couple of jumpers in the little young dude's face, and they talk, oh, you ain't done OG. You too old to be out here anyway. Woo, that was luck. Woo. I don't even say nothing. I just take it all in stride because I've been there. I've seen all of that. That mouth don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? As long as you don't get to calling me outside my name, I'm good. So I just got in a little groove of doing that, man. I got the job as the barber. I started cutting hair. So I'm cutting the hair up in there. I got my little routine in play, and I'm just trying to, make it through this situation without controversy, And like I say, that dog lady, that was my first major problem when I was on there. That was my major problem when I was on there because, like I say, every time I even seen her, if I had to pass her on the boulevard or I had to pass her in the building or she came making a round in the building, I just felt my blood pressure go up. I felt the temperature because I had, disgust for her because I knew what her agenda was. Her agenda was that my life ain't mean nothing to her and she looked at me like, less than a human being. So I returned that sentiment. I felt the same way about her. And sometimes she used to come by and she walked by the cell and she'll walk by and once she see I was in there, she'll double back and look and she'll just try to stare at me, try to intimidate me or whatever. And I just look right back at her. Like, yeah, I don't know what you thinking, but I guarantee you don't know what I'm thinking, But that's the type of things you have to deal with when you up there. You have to compartmentalize all these things and you have to get your mind right, man, because it's all a ploy to take you deeper and deeper into the hole, deeper and deeper into prison, deeper and deeper and further away from you getting out. You see what I'm saying? Like I say, when you go in, your main objective is to get out of prison. And like I said, a lot of dudes get tricked up in that because it's a lot of politics, it's a lot of game, it's a lot of, BS being going on in there, and they want to keep you in there. You are the beneficiary, they are the beneficiary of your behavior. They are the beneficiary of your mistakes. You supply their living. You supply their lifestyle. You supply their livelihood. Without you, they have no job. So they want to keep you tricked up. They want to keep you in situations where you keep backing your time up. You keep doing this or doing that where they can say, oh, yeah, well, this justified. Oh, yeah, we need these prisons. Oh, yeah, we need these supermax. Oh, yeah, we need all these new prisons because we got these type of characters in here. They want to do that. But what they don't tell you is half of the stuff that happens, they, agitate that. They facilitate that. They create a situation to complain about a situation. And man, you have to get that type of knowledge in your head when you're doing time, because if you don't, you most definitely gonna become a victim. Yeah, and that's one thing you didn't want to become, and there was a victim, man. So like I said, I got in my routine. I was cutting hair. I was working out, minding my business, staying to myself, man, and just watching all the foolishness unfold around me. Watching all the dudes that didn't know how to do time, learning how to do time. Watching all the young dudes, wilding out, not knowing when they get to a flatland and get to a major prison, a major institution, the way things is being run is so different than what is being run up here in these mountains. They had no clue. And if they take that foolishness down there in the mountains, they're going to end up somewhere in somebody's hospital, or they're going to end up back up here in the mountains with some holes or something in them. Because dudes won't go on for the foolishness up there, on flatland that they was going for up here. These dudes was getting away with a lot of things up here that they wouldn't be able to get away with down in lowland, because basically everybody that was up there was trying to get from up there. So they humbled themselves. They stayed in the pocket because they knew what the count was. They done been on lowland. They've been doing time. They've been down a decade or better. So they knew that this ain't how time's supposed to be done. But a lot of these dudes was just coming in, and this their first time coming into prison, and this is all they know. So they get in the groove and get into a mode of doing time like that. So they feel like this is what it is. But man, they was lost. They was lost. With all that fake extortion game that they was running and running down on people, man, you go down lowland and try that, and you disturb the ambiance or the mood of that part, man, dudes gonna come to you that ain't got nothing to do with it because you may be getting in the way of something that they doing. You know, they doing something on a bigger level. They may be getting real money in there. They may be moving around with a cell phone that they don't need that heat on the block. And when you come on that block and you creating all that heat where the administration gonna be focusing on that block, man, them dudes gonna have a problem with you. I've been there, so I know. You know, so I just watched. I just kept my my eyes open, man, and watched everything unfold, man. I seen all the foolishness going on. I seen all the rumbles. You know, like I said, and the way they was moving, I can remember when this what's his name came on there, man. I remember when he came on there, this Nazi dude, man. Yeah, a Nazi dude. He was a young dude. He only slept a couple of cells from me. I think I mentioned him in another one of my videos. I'm not sure, but I think I did. But he was a young dude, man, and I think he had been in the military or something. And he had, you know, a work ethic and a workout ethic, man, that, you know, the liking of military, but he was a Nazi. And he let it be known he was a Nazi. And he was pro, you know, white people, and that was it. You know, and he came in that block, and you see him every time they had wreck, he run in the yard, and he working out, and he doing push-ups and burpees. Every time he came out of cell, he was working out. When he wasn't working out, he was politicking with other white dudes, trying to recruit them to, you know, his way of thinking. And I just remember him so well because I can remember how all of these Bloods and Crips and all these different type of gangs that was in there, and they was extorting dudes and taking advantage of dudes and looking at them. And I'm like, what about him? You know what I'm saying? What about him? You know, and they ain't really want to mess with him because, like I say, size and aggressiveness will deter somebody from messing with you, especially if you're not afraid. And he proved to be not afraid. You know, dudes had approached him and asked him. Only reason dudes knew what he was because he verbalized. You know what I'm saying? He verbalized. He didn't socialize with black people. He didn't do anything. You see what I'm saying? So people had asked him, and he said he was a Nazi. He actually went in a cell with a dude one time and got a Hitler tattoo on him. He went in there and he got a big Hitler tattoo tatted on him. So people knew that because people knew who the tattoo dude was, and then they see him, you know, sneaking in the cell, getting a tattoo, and then later on the tattoo revealed he done got a Hitler tattoo. So this dude was so bold that he would even go get a Hitler tattoo with a swastika or whatever, I can't pronounce it, but you know, he got that tatted on him while he was in the block. And man, I did all I could to bite my tongue, but I'm looking at them young dudes like, man, y'all go up in here robbing your own people, robbing your own kind, you know, extorting dudes that y'all think weak. Y'all say y'all stand for this, stand for that, but you got this white dude right here telling you he don't like black people. He talk about black people. He probably in here for race crime, and y'all ain't doing nothing to him because y'all feel like y'all gonna get a whole lot of pushback, you know. But I kept that to myself, but I felt that, you know, and they was a little leery of the dude because the dude, man, you know, dudes had approached him and he had told him straight up, yeah, that's what I do, you know. And I remember he come to me because I'm the barber. So he came to me one time to get a haircut. Now, I was trying to hold my feelings on the inside, but at the same time, I couldn't, you know. So he was like, man, he needed a haircut, woo, woo, woo. And then he was just sitting there waiting for me next in line. So when he get up, he come over there, he tried to get a haircut. And I told him I won't cut his hair, you know. So he was like, what? And I was like, I ain't cutting your hair, bro. I can't cut your hair, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, why? You know what I'm saying? I said, you know why? I said, I'm a black man. You don't deal with black men, do you? And he gave me this whole excuse about, yeah, he just, you know, not nothing against black people. He just promote white people. You know what I'm saying? He don't believe in race mixing. He don't believe this, that, and the third. I'm like, well, I don't. Hey, we race mixing. If I cut your hair, I can't do. you know. So he got on up. He said he understood or whatever, but he had a little attitude. But it didn't bother me because I already knew what the outcome was gonna be, you know. And he was a young dude. He was in good shape. He cut up and everything. He working out every day, but he ain't had nothing coming messing with me. Not nothing, you know. And I respected him to a degree. I respected them to a degree. And when I say that is, I definitely don't respect racism. You know what I'm saying? I don't respect that at all. I respected him to a degree that he stood by what he believed in. However twisted that was, in my point of view, he believed in it and he stood on it, you know. And I asked him, and we had a conversation, and he was like, yeah, man, well, you know. And I was like, how long you been locked up? I think he hadn't been locked up maybe a year or two. And he like, yeah, I was like, man, you say what you say, and you up here in these mountains and you just getting locked up for the first time. I said, brother, when you get down to that lowland, you keep that same energy, man, and I promise you, boy, you ain't gonna last. Oh, I ain't worrying about it. I'm willing to die for whatever I believe in. I ain't gonna change my beliefs for nobody. Ooh. I said, well, you should be ready to die because you very well may die. You very well may die or come close to it, you know. I say, you say, well, can't nobody beat it out me? Can't I say, oh yeah. You are definitely misinformed. They can't beat it out you, but I guarantee you they'll stab it out you. I said, you ever been stabbed? No. I said, okay. Well, you tell me that after I run into you and somebody done put that Bethlehem in you 10, 15, 20 times and you survive, if you still got that same attitude, if you still got that same energy. I said, you in the wrong place, not the light of a racist. Because you are the minority in here. The biggest race in here is African American and other, brown cultures. So you're in the wrong place for that. And if you even felt like that was something you should have kept to yourself. But you want to be bold and go get Hitler and all of this tattooed on you, walk around this pod and try to recruit other white dudes and ask them why they socializing with blacks and all this. I said, bro, you just put yourself behind the 8 ball. But he was adamant. This is how he gonna live and this is how he gonna carry. You see what I'm saying? And the ironic part about that is I ran into him a couple of years later when I ended up on Nottoway, and he was out there doing the same thing. That's how I recognized him. I was on one side of the yard, he was on the other side of the yard. I seen him running around and I remember the pace because my mind is like that. This is how I've been able to tell y'all these stories. That's the gift and the curse that I just got such a good memory. And I can remember him running around and I was walking around the yard with my homeboy, and I could remember seeing him. I was like, I know that dude. And it was boom, it popped in my head who he was. Later on, I found out not only, now he done got to lowland, that he done somewhat slighting his philosophy, but not completely, because he was trying to get a whole religious group started up there, because they cannot deny you your religion no matter what it may be. And they had some type of religious group up there, and I forget what the name of it was called. It's a funny name. I don't want to say and be misquoted, but it was something ASIQ or it's something like that. But this whole religion was about white supremacy. And do you know they ended up getting that group? They ended up sponsoring that group, making that group where they was able to have meetings every week, under the banner of a religion. And he was the spearhead of that. Young dude, but I remember also hearing that, dudes on the compound that had the dope, heroin. He had caught a heroin habit. You right? So he was, buying heroin, and the people that he had to buy from was black dudes. So he buying heroin from the black dudes, but yet you don't mess with black dudes, and you have made that be known, and that's your whole philosophy, that's your whole lifestyle. But you have a dope habit, so now you have to see the black man, because the black man is the one who has the heroin in prison. You see what I'm saying? So you buying heroin from a black dude, and you have expressed that you don't like black people. It wouldn't be nothing for one of them dudes to give you something in that heroin that would take you off of this earth. That would take you completely off of this earth just because they don't like your beliefs. But I just remember that and processing all that information in my mind, and I was like, man, it's just crazy how life unfolds, and you see people and then you see them later, and then these certain things. And once I heard that, I was like, this dude has really got to be crazy. He's got to be crazy. He's walking around with Hitler tattoos on him and everything, and starting a race group, a race meeting group under the banner of religion, and then you go and cop dope from black dudes. Man, you got to be crazy. There's no way in the world, no matter what I was into, if I was into anything that I oppose another people, that I would go to them other people and try to get something from them that I have to ingest in my body. Man, you got to be brave as I don't know what. Because I don't know whatever happened to him. I don't know, I don't even remember if he was there when I left or whatever. But I do know I remember that about him. And that was just something that just popped in my head when it came to this Barber and stuff. Because when you dealing with this Barber and stuff in prison too, let me tell you something. That's a whole nother animal within itself. I mean, an entirely other beast. Because you got to deal, if you the Barber like I was in one block, you got to deal with 84 people, 83 excluding myself, that want a haircut. Now, they going to leave it up to you to micromanage how you get these haircuts, when you get these haircuts, but you got to get them done. And you're responsible for cutting everybody's hair on the block. But I can do it on my own schedule, on my own time, and at my own leisure. So, as long as I get it done, monthly. So, man, you get these dudes coming in here and they want their hair cut when they want it cut, how they want it cut, if they want it cut, so on and so forth. Ain't going to work with me. So, a lot of them dudes knew. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't bragging. I'm just saying facts. I'm one of the sharpest with them clippers. So dudes want to get their hair cut by me, but they didn't want to get their hair cut by me. They didn't want me at a job because they knew they couldn't handle me. They couldn't tell me to do it when they wanted it done. They couldn't tell me to do it how they wanted it done because I ain't going for it. You just get up, bro, because I get you another time or you get your mind right, but I ain't cutting your hair. And that's how I always carried it when I was the barber. So you'll hear them whispering, yeah, man, Bank don't need that job, man. Bank talk to people crazy. I ain't, but at the same time, they wouldn't say it to my face, so it didn't even bother me. And a lot of times I knew who was saying what because somebody would come back and whisper to me, say, but I ain't even address it because it didn't bother me. As long as you didn't bring it to me directly, and it's been times dude felt bold enough to bring it to me directly. And every time they did, I dealt with it on site emphatically. So I can remember being on this joint, and when I first had my first encounter with that, old dude, he come want to get a haircut. I'm cutting another dude's hair, but he come tell me he need to get a haircut. He said he been waiting for 3 days. I said, oh, well, it's some people in here been waiting longer than that. I'm going to get to you when I get to you. I got, 80-something people to cut their hair. But, bro, I've been waiting, and I've asked you for a haircut since last week. I said, okay, I had people in front of you. Obviously, I haven't gotten to you yet. So when I do get to you, I got you. Now, I'm trying to be diplomatic, and I'm trying to be, humble about the situation. But he wanted to get, air in his chest and puff. He got a little size to him, but to me, 90% of it is fat. If 90% of it was muscle, it still wouldn't have made me no difference. I'm standing on my position, and that's where I'm at. So he like, man, no, I think you trying to carry me, man. I think you kind of carry me. You got something against me. You don't want to cut my hair. I said, bro, I don't even know you. How am I have something against you? Now, mind you, all this while I'm cutting another dude's head. So he get to pacing around and acting like, man, I'm sick of this. Yeah, and mumbling and all this foolishness. Now, that's getting to me now because you agitated me and you making me paranoid. I'm paranoid by nature, you making me more paranoid. So I said, bro, you got something on your mind? I stopped the clippers or whatever. He said, yeah, I got something on my mind. He said, man, you gonna cut my hair, man. You ain't gonna keep on carrying me like these dudes. I said, man, you ain't getting no haircut at all now, bro. I don't know who you think you talking to. He said, man, let's go to the shower. Let's go to the shower. Because up there, dudes will go to the shower. They got big showers up there, but it's like singles. So you go to the shower. He want to go to the shower. Like he asking me to come rumble. So he said, let's go to the shower. Because dudes go there because they don't want to get shot. Because the guns, the way that the tower is, they can't angle it really to get in the shower. And you got these big, hard plastic doors in front of the shower. So he said, well, let's go to the shower. And he loud so everybody heard him. So I said, no problem whatsoever. Go ahead over there, brother. Let me just put this little final touch on his head and I'm coming. He said, yeah, I'll be over there. So I finished the dude's head. So the dude head him because he said, man, don't even pay him no mind, Bank, man. Don't get late, man. I said, man, I'm good. So I finished his little head. It ain't take but a couple of minutes. I was almost finished anyway. Put the clippers up nice and walked on over there to the shower. So when I pulled the door open, he's standing in the back of the shower. and he got his little fist ball up. So I walk in, which is enough room, give us about 3-4 feet away from each other. So as soon as I walk in, I pull a little door behind me, but I never take my eyes off of him. So as soon as I walk in, this chump want to say, yeah, I'm telling you. Man, he ain't get the rest of the words out of his mouth. Boom! Drop him right in the bum. One hit a quitter. He hit the ground, bang, hit his head against the back of the shower, fell, slid on down to the ground, knocked his teeth out, got a buck neck in there. So wherever you at right now to this day, every time you smile, I hope you think about me. Bing! Dropped him, walked out the shower, went back, got the wrapping up the clippers and everything. I'm trying to get up out of there now because I don't want to get late. So he laid up in the shower, still laid out. I'm nervous now because he done been there now about 5 minutes. So I don't want the CO to come in and the CO to walk around and see him laying down in the shower, because then they're going to go to the cameras. Whether he tell it or not, they're going to go to the cameras and see me coming out. Man, I tell the little dude over there, man, I said, look, bro, go up in there, man, and hit the button and cut the water on, let the water run on him, man, so he can get up. He was like, man, I said, man, go ahead. I got you. I'm going to give you a little something, man. I got your haircut. You good. He goes in there and cut the water on so the water can run on the dude. The water run on the dude. He jump up. He get himself together. Man, he walked on up out of that shower soaking wet. One looked over there at me, turned his head, walked on up to his cell, went on in his room. Best move he ever made.
The Banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.